What is up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Marauders, beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders, investment channel helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. All right, so I'll be talking about the top hospitality stocks that I think everybody should look at, especially considering that we may have a new stimulus on the horizon. All right, so the first one on here, ticker sign WH for Wyndham Hotels. So Wyndham Hotels has locations everywhere. At the time of this video, they're at $54.48. And they are bullish, denoted by this moving average 10 line being above the moving average 50 and the moving average 100, which is this purple and yellow line. So let's jump into some background information and see what is going on with the company to see if they are a good buy or not. So going to their financial results. So this came out October 28th, so a little bit old considering, the time of this video. But we can see their net income was $27 million in the third quarter, and adjusted net income was $34 million. Adjusted EBITDA was $101 million. They generated $97 million of net cash provided by operating activities and $92 million in free cash flow. So the system-wide rooms declined 2% year over year and issued a $500 million aggregate principal amount of 4.375% of senior unsecured notes in August of 2020. So in my opinion, I don't think this is too bad of a metric, especially considering that hotel industries and resorts were definitely hit very hard after this pandemic, and only a 2% decline year over year is not as big as a lot of these other companies that have been hit hard based on the pandemic. So I think Wyndham is doing pretty good. I think it was basically oversold in my personal opinion, just because people were like, oh, well, it's hospitalities. People are not going to really look at it. But once the stimulus comes back, once the vaccine comes out, I think all of these companies in this entire video are going to be doing good. So now I think it's a pretty good time to consider putting them into your account and definitely looking at them for the long term. Now going to the next one, we got ticker sign VAC, and this is for a Marriott Vacation. The time of this video, their moving average 10 is $126.95. Moving average 50 is $126.73, and the moving average 100 is $120.71. Time of this video, they are bullish, denoted by the moving average 10 line barely being above the moving average 50 and 100 line, which is the yellow and purple line. So I would say yes, they are bullish, and they ended the week at $128.21. So if we go to some background information on Marriott Vacations, we can see that they were hit definitely a lot harder than Wyndham Resorts was. So adjusted EBITDA was $35 million in the third quarter of 2020. Adjusted net loss attributed to common shares was $33 million. Adjusted fully diluted loss per share is 0.81. Net loss attributed to common shareholders was $62 million, or $1.51 loss per diluted share. And consolidated vacation ownership contract sales totaled $140 million in the third quarter of 2020. So they're doing reasonably okay in my personal opinion, but definitely not as good as they want to be doing. But I think once all this stuff is cleared up again, I think this is definitely going to be one that you should put on your radar to consider in the hospitalities industry. So going into another one that we have is RCL. One of the more popular ones that people think about is Royal Caribbean. So Royal Caribbean was basically the benefactor of most of the news. When people thought about, selling off, Royal Caribbean was the one that I saw people sell off the most, that and Carnival Cruise Lines. But I chose Royal Caribbean because to me it's the more popular one in my personal opinion. But at the time of this video, they're at $70.61. So we can see that they are bearish at the current time of this video, denoted by their moving average 50 being above their moving average 10 line right here. So going into some background information on them, we're just going to read some of the highlights of the press releases. There has been positive news. So there is a vaccine candidate that is out there by a company called Pfizer and BioNTech. And soon we should be having information about the Moderna vaccine coming out. So that's all positive things for this whole industry. It went up a little bit based off that news, but in my opinion, until the FDA approves these vaccines and until there is a stimulus, I think these companies will continue to suffer. But looking at here, we can see Royal Caribbean doubles up on adventure with 2022 Alaska deployment. International spins Australia and New Zealand January sales or sailings. The group extended suspension of cruising, but it seemed like they had a good positive news based from the CDC guidance, which they seem to be hopeful on these vaccine candidates that are coming out. So lastly, we'll talk about one that's LVS, ticker sign LVS for Las Vegas Sands. Their moving average 10 is $57.79. Moving average 50 is $57.26, and the moving average 100 is $55.54. At the time of this video, they ended the week at $58.40. So they are bullish. They're on a little bit of bullish run up at the current moment. And I think this is based off the vaccine news, and they're basically bouncing off of that vaccine news. So we can see on here directly in the chart when that vaccine news came out, shot up all the way up to 60, and then kind of went down, and then it's kind of bouncing, going up sideways, which to me indicates that the market is kind of unsure about the future of this company. So I think the Las Vegas Sands is a fantastic organization. They have a lot of amazing hotels, some of which I personally have not been to, but I would like to go to in the future if we get these regulations and stuff out of the way, and we start to open back up. I would love to travel to some of these locations because their hotels, are just amazing in my personal opinion. So going on here, we can see their financials, starting with the different sectors that they have on here. Their Chinese industry was hit pretty hard. So Sands China Ltd. Consolidated financial results on a GAAP basis. Total net revenue SCL decreased 92.1% compared to the third quarter of 2019. So they were hit very hard based on the pandemic, and you got to think that's kind of the epicenter of where this whole pandemic kind of began. Now, Las Vegas Sands is not just in Las Vegas. They have worldwide, locations. They have one that's in, it says there are different countries: Morocco, Singapore, Las Vegas. The one that's in Singapore that they have, I think, is amazing. It's a world-renowned, place. It has a pool, that's a large amount of stories above. So I would definitely say go check out these different places. And I think the company, I'm not going to say it's too big to fail, but the company definitely has a lot of backing financially, and a lot of interest in the company as a whole. So I think they will stay afloat amidst this pandemic and what's going on. And I'm definitely interested to see, their plan for moving forward. I know a lot of casinos and stuff in Vegas had guidance to have shields and all that other different stuff. Now, when there's universal guidance amongst hotels and hospitality in general, I think, we can move forward. And this is definitely going to see this company boom. Now, it's starting to boom right now, but I think it definitely has potential to continue to be even higher than what it currently is at the moment, just based on their portfolio of properties that they have and different things that they do in the hospitality industry. So I think, LVS is a hospitality heavy hitter, in my opinion, and I think people would love to continue to go to their locations. So I think they're going to, pull through with this. And I think, jumping in now before all those guidances and stuff, and we get back to the world being normal, you'll be able to get in on a deal. So that's the stocks that I think everybody should look at for the hospitality industry. Make sure you continue to check updates to see if a stimulus is being passed here in the U.S. I know there have been talks about it, but, with the presidency potentially being solidified with a Biden presidency, I think more plans will come out of the woodwork of solidifying how we move forward as a country with the pandemic still going on. So good luck to everybody out there trading this week. I hope everybody's able to lock in profits. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what stocks you guys are looking at in the hospitality industry. Make sure you hit that thumbs up to help the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you subscribe as well so you can get updates on when I post videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.